You ever heard the saying, never let a crisis go to waste? Well, I've got an example here today that's going to absolutely infuriate you because it's making me really, really hot right now. I had a completely different video planned for tonight, but I got this email from a company called 199 Trust. And not only are they advocating for registration, they're seeking to make a fortune off of it. So I'm going to go ahead and read this to you. The countdown has begun. Friend, the finalized rule by the ATF, which affects firearms equipped with stabilizing braces, has now come into full effect. You have until May 31st in order to register your newly minted SBR's tax stamp free, parentheses, no $200 stamp. These can be registered to a trust. And then of course it has a link that you can click right there. We'll come back to that link here in just a moment. Additionally, we would like to remind you all the benefits of using a specialized gun trust for all of your firearms, not just registered SBRs. Our gun trusts allow multiple users, co-trustees, to handle, store, and use your trust's firearms. It also offers long-term flexibility, security, and the ability to define a beneficiary distribution plan without paying for another tax stamp via ATF Form 5. We're going to come back to that one here in a second because that is a lie. During these crazy times, our customers find comfort knowing their trust is the owner of the firearms, not themselves, which gives our customers a degree of separation and ultimately, we hope, long-term peace of mind. Contact us if you have any questions or concerns via our live chat or via email. P.S. Please share this with your friends. It's better to learn about the benefits of a trust earlier rather than later. Well, boys and girls, I'm going to go ahead and share this with my friends. If you scroll down, it says purchase compliant gun trusts only, $79 right there. So first of all, to register an NFA item, you do not need to have a trust. You can do it as an individual. In fact, I advocate that you do it as an individual. Again, I am not an attorney, so this should not be construed to be legal advice. But as an individual, your process is faster than if you use a trust. It just simply is due to the paperwork involved. First off, this is really slimy, and we need to go no farther than to just scroll up to that little bit about the Form 5. The Form 5 is used for a tax-exempt transfer to anybody that is not a federal firearms licensee. So like as a federal firearms licensee, my business, when it receives things, receives them on a Form 3. The Form 5 is for anybody that isn't a federal firearms licensee, but is conducting a tax-exempt transfer. And if we go to the ATF's website, the firearm may be transferred on a tax-exempt basis to a lawful heir. The executor would apply for an ATF Form 5 application for tax-exempt transfer and registration of a firearm for a tax-exempt transfer to the lawful heir. A lawful heir is anyone named in the descendant's will or in the absence of a will, anyone entitled to inherit it under laws of the state, blah, 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 blah. You get the idea. So in that email, we have a blatant lie saying that if you want that stuff, if you want your people to have your stuff after you pass away, then you need to pay us $79 to go ahead and get that trust set up. We're completely neglecting to mention the other regulatory complications that exist since Obama attacked the trusts under 41F years ago. But wait, there's more. Let's go ahead and scroll back up to that. Please visit our updates page for more details here. If we click on that, it takes us to this page here, and you'll notice that it looks something like this. Email clarification. The grace period applies to all who had their braced firearms notarized in their trust property before January 31st, 2023. Any new additions will be taxed under the NFA. So what they just did was draft an email to bait and switch people, thinking that they were going to be able to put their new stuff onto their NFA trust that they just set up, that they don't need whatsoever, in an effort to extract money from people who are already probably a little mentally taxed because of the situation that's going on with their firearms collections, and really having a state of ambiguity pressing down on their mind. And then with the structure of the email, they're going to blow right past that thing and be like, yeah, I should believe these people. They sound credible. Click on that thing, not understanding that they've just been had. If you can't tell, this kind of thing hacks me off. And this sort of behavior is predatory and absolutely unacceptable. These people ought to be ashamed of themselves. So I would ask you to please share this video with everybody that you think needs to see it. But in the spirit of not just putting somebody on blast, I'm going to go ahead and lay it out for you what the purpose of an NFA trust is in this day and age. Speaking from experience, as someone who has dealt with paperwork, dealing with trusts, it's going to take you longer to get your items. So even if you're doing this outside of the whole vacuum that is the pistol brace thing, which we'll talk about in a separate video, if you're doing it outside of that and you're just trying to buy some cans or something like that, then the real value of having an NFA trust is really twofold. The first reason you would have that, and one of my friends down the road has one of these, this is the way he did his items, because he has a family that shoots. Him and his wife and his children are into this sport that is the shooting world. They procured their devices because they wanted the latitude to be able to farm that sort of stuff out between all of them and not have to worry about any of the things like, oh, you know, the kid grew up and he went to college and he wants to go shooting with his buddies over the weekend. Can he borrow the can? That sort of thing. That's a viable reason why you would have an NFA trust. The other reason you would have an NFA trust is if you've got really expensive items that you want to protect. And I'm not trying to sound like an elitist here, but $1,000 items are not really expensive items, okay? By really expensive items, I'm talking transferable machine guns that are $20, $30, $40, $50, $60,000 a pop, right? It's probably in the interest of your estate to ensure that there's no chance that those items get decided by a probate court. And in the interests of the financial status of your family after you pass away, if you hold these items, it's probably in your best interest to put those into some kind of insulatory document that is an NFA trust. However, if you've just got a gaggle of cans or a couple SBRs, then as we talked about earlier, that Form 5, if your family wants those items after you pass away and they are the lawful heir to those devices, then they can obtain them with an ATF Form 5 at a tax-exempt transfer. You do not need an NFA trust to do that. And this is a trick that is used by attorneys to frighten you into paying them to sign you up for some meaningless documents. And now I'm mad. Hey, don't forget that you can take advantage of great deals on products that I stand behind, like PowerTac flashlights. It's the current EDC light that I'm using. You can find all those discounts over at the affiliates page. It will be linked in the description box down below, and this is a great way for you to support the channel indirectly with products that you're going to buy anyway. Thank you very much. In closing today, now that I've composed myself, I am a capitalist. And I believe that if you have an idea that's marketable, and you can generate something that somebody will pay you for because they find it valuable or they want a piece of it, then you should go out and get yours, because ain't nobody gonna give it to you. You gotta take it. However, I draw the line at taking advantage of people at the expense of others, their livelihood, their peace of mind, whatever it is. If you're taking advantage of people, if you're preying on them, then I got a real problem with you. And that's exactly what this is. And I hope that I was not wrong in bringing this to your attention, because it made me very upset. And I'm hoping that I'm not off base with this, and that you're also upset about it as well. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully tomorrow will be a better day.